Sorry for the sudden interruption. I'm going to assume that this is Jane's mother's phone number that I'm texting, correct? I am her fiancé David's father, and you can call me Michael.
Sorry for not having gotten in touch with you any sooner. My name is Laurel. I think the last time we spoke to one another was years ago when they'd first started dating, right?
I was able to get your phone number from David.
Yes, I heard about that from him. Sounds like you have something to ask me about, so what could that be?
Well, then allow me to get to all of that right now. Understanding that something like Jess's family having only been her and you, that would make for a bad picture of us, and I'm therefore going to ask that you do not come to her wedding in 2 days.
What? By that, do you mean that you're upset with the fact that I'm her only parent currently?
Correct, that's what I'm saying. Just the idea of someone having only been raised with one parent is a bad one.
I understand that, but what about the rest of the family that will be going to the wedding?
I have people that I can have stand in for you, so there won't be any problems there.
You're having people stand in? I can't believe this. What have Jess and David said about all of this?
Considering I'm the head of this house, those two will listen to everything I have to say about it and abide by it. I just need you to stay quiet and make sure not to show up to the wedding on the day of.
No way.
Anyhow, I'm going to need you to cut ties to Jess. I'm already having to take on someone like your daughter who had a stunted education and everything under you, so you should be more than thankful for that. If you really care for your daughter's happiness any, you won't speak about any of this to her.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show
day, so I must go.
Hey! Talking about?
Jess's mother works as a hairstylist, and not just any stylist, but one working at the top hair salon here in this city. She does the hair of so many celebrities that you probably can't even count them all.
What? She works at a hair salon that even celebrities are going to?
That's right, and it's the exact same place that both Mom and Grandma have been going to for years now, and are very familiar with Jess's mother because of it. And the only reason Jess and I were able to meet in the first place was because of their relationships. Then, here's something that I think you of all people will find very important, Dad.
What is it?
It seems that a lot of those hair salons have been left under the supervision of Cameron. And you know that Cameron has plenty of other businesses that he's taking care of as well, right? And the main company that he's in charge of happens to be a massive business partner of the company you're working at, Company W.
What?
He happens to be Jess's brother, but you never met him before because all of the times you guys were around, he was busy with things like the businesses. But you did get his business card at one point, correct?
His business card? So that's what that business card was all about?
Don't tell me you threw that card away or something. So you did toss it.
I thought he was going to try talking to me some more later on about how he wanted to sell me his lovely company or something, considering he never had a father growing up to make him into a proper businessman.
Jesus! So you didn't even have a look at his business card to see the kind of man he is. And when you were told about where Jess's mother has been working, you didn't listen to any of that either. Seems neither your eyes or ears are of any use to you then.
Whoa! How dare you say things like that to your father? Everyone and their mother knows that fatherless households like theirs are utter disgraces. Sorry that you can't seem to wrap your head around that or anything. That is why I asked for Laurel to stop talking to Jess anymore, so that this family's image didn't have to be stained by her.
I see. And here's a response from Cameron, the CEO of Company W, to what you've said to his mother. Then, this is the end of my company and your company's relations as well, correct?
What?
Dad, you were the one in charge of business relations between Company W and your company, right? Seems that you've been causing a lot of trouble for Cameron's company and the man he left in charge of relations with you, all because he's a bit younger than you. Well, just a couple of days ago, on Friday to be exact, that man went and made a complaint to your company about how you've harassed him.
He complained?
Your company was told that as long as you are overseeing the business relations, there would be no more business between you guys and Company W.
What was that?
In preparations for this wedding today, you took off that Friday, right? Well, when it comes to this Monday, you're going to be hearing all about what's happened while you've been out of the office. And here's a word from your CEO of Company A.
Huh? My CEO is here right now with you guys?
Cameron happens to be close friends with your CEO, and considering how long they've been friends for, he's also family friends with Laurel and Jess. In other words, not another person here has the same kind of skewed views on people like Laurel that you do, and not a single one of us wants you around.
No way!
If you understand what I've said, then hurry up and leave this place right now. If I have to have a father like you around during my wedding, I'll be more than embarrassed. I'm also going to be cutting ties to you now.
Wait a minute, David. If you do something like that to me, then you'll have to say goodbye to both your grandma and mother as well. Are you really okay with something like that?
The only person I'm cutting ties to is you, Dad.
What? What are you talking about?
If you have no intent to celebrate the joining of this family with Jess's, then you can grab your things and leave this place right now. I've already gone and told the staff about what
stood out. An affair once or twice? It made me wonder if there was more to the story, and as it turns out, my suspicions were correct. He had been having an affair with a female subordinate. Later on, I heard from his wife that this affair was added to the list of reasons for their divorce, alongside the original issues that had caused their relationship to break down. After that, things took a sharp turn for Michael. Even in his professional life, he was removed from his position in sales at the company and reassigned to a dead-end job with no external responsibilities, far from the important work he had been doing. From being a prominent figure in the company's business operations, he was demoted to a back-office position where he no longer had contact with clients or any meaningful projects. He became invisible, tucked away in a corner. Yet despite the drastic change in his work situation, he couldn't afford to quit. His wife had filed a substantial claim for alimony, which he was obligated to pay. On top of that, his age made finding new employment extremely difficult. In the end, no matter how humiliating it was to stay in such a lowly position, he had no choice but to stay. Day after day, he now sits at his desk carrying out menial tasks with no hope of returning to his previous status. The woman he had the affair with, on the other hand, did not fare much better. She chose to resign voluntarily from the company, likely pressured by the situation that had unfolded. The scandal surrounding their affair became too much to bear. After leaving her job, she was forced to pay alimony to Michael's wife as well. And ultimately, she returned to her hometown in the countryside. The shame and financial strain of the affair had left her with no other options. Imagining the lonely future that awaits Michael is nothing short of painful. Here was a man who, not too long ago, had everything: a stable career, a family, a comfortable life, but his own actions, fueled by selfish desires, led him down a path that cost him everything. The affair with his subordinate not only destroyed his marriage, but also derailed his career in ways he could never have anticipated. Michael was once well respected in his field. As a sales executive, he was the face of the company, often negotiating with clients and securing deals. He had a certain confidence about him, always walking through the office with his head held high. But that same arrogance might have blinded him to the consequences of his actions. Perhaps he thought he could juggle both his professional and personal indiscretions without being caught. But life rarely works out that way. His wife, who had stood by him through thick and thin, had every reason to leave. After all, this wasn't just about a single mistake. When he carelessly mentioned an affair once or twice, it revealed a deeper problem. He saw his infidelities as minor transgressions, dismissing the hurt and betrayal that they caused. It's no wonder that once the truth came out, his wife could no longer tolerate being in the marriage. Their divorce wasn't just a personal matter either. It rippled through Michael's professional life. The company likely wanted to distance itself from the scandal, and removing him from his position in sales was an easy way to minimize any damage. He went from being a key player to someone who could easily be forgotten. In the corporate world, once you lose your relevance, it's nearly impossible to regain it. Now, Michael spends his days in the shadows, performing trivial tasks that no one else wants to do. The irony is that despite all this, he cannot leave his job. The alimony payments to his ex-wife are a constant reminder of his mistakes, and he's trapped in this miserable routine, knowing that quitting would mean financial ruin. His pride might be bruised, but he has no choice but to endure the monotony, watching the years slip away from behind his desk. As for the woman he had the affair with, her fate seems equally grim. In a sense, she was a casualty of Michael's recklessness, though she too made her own choices. Voluntarily resigning from the company was likely an attempt to escape the shame of being known as the other woman, but it came at a great cost. After paying her share of the alimony, she retreated to the countryside, where her career prospects are likely limited. One can only imagine the isolation she must feel now. Together, their affair not only destroyed their lives, but also left a trail of pain and regret. Michael, once so confident and full of himself, is now facing the reality of a lonely and desolate old age. The choices he made in pursuit of temporary pleasures led to permanent consequences. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Gavin. Why did you bring your parents along with you on our private vacation again? This time we were taking this trip as a way to make up for the lack of a honeymoon taken after we got married, right? We both were busy with work around our time of the wedding, and that's why we couldn't go anywhere after. We even had my parents take the kids so that we could go on this vacation without having anyone else coming along with us, right? So why did you bring your parents along last minute?
What is wrong with you, Alice?
Also, when it comes to our seating on this plane, you three are all sat together while I'm having to sit in a different row all by myself. Why do I have to be all by myself when the row you're in has 4 seats available?
We didn't have a choice in that, okay? Both of my parents wanted to come on this trip with us this morning, so when I went to buy them tickets last minute, I had to change where I sat in order to be together with them.
But what I don't understand is why from the beginning you were sitting in a different row than me on the plane.
Just be happy there were enough seats for the 4 of us to be on the same plane together, Alice. And you got to sit in premium economy, right?
This isn't about me being in a better seat than you guys, and this plane isn't even close to max capacity, so there sure was enough seating for both you and I to have sat together and for the 4 of us to have sat as well.
What's the big deal of going on vacation with both of my parents anyway? This is my way of saying thanks to them for allowing you and me to live in a different house instead of having to live together with them. I'm being a good son.
Listen, Gavin, if you wanted to have your parents come along, then why did you say no to me inviting my parents as well as bringing the kids on this trip? I don't get it.
Oh, come on now. If we brought along everyone on this trip, we'd have to spend way too much money.
I'm not talking about money right now. Honestly, I just wanted this trip to be the 2 of us, yet you went and brought your parents with us last minute.
Are you saying it won't be any fun having my parents along with us?
That is not what I'm saying.
Well, no matter what you have to complain about, they're already with us now, so there's nothing we can do. If you want for just the both of us to go on vacation, we can do that the next time we have a chance.
Oh, whatever, Gavin. I don't care anymore. Alice, I heard that just a little bit ago you had a lot of things to say about my son. Don't forget that our son makes sure we hear about everything. I should have known that he'd show you all those texts. We are sitting right next to him, so of course we'd see what you were saying whether he showed us or not. The fact that you can't even understand that our son is trying to be good to us, wants to be good to us, proves that you're a failure as a wife. Is that the only reason you're texting me right now? To tell me that I'm a failure? I'm just letting you know what I think before we get down to business. I just hope you remember what I've just said to you here. Well, none of what you've just told me helps our relationship anyway, so no thanks. Excuse me? So can we get to what you want to talk to me about now? Oh, that's right. I have to talk with you about this as soon as possible. Listen here, Alice. The hotel that was reserved for us to stay at tonight only had 1 room available. I'm sure you'd love to talk about that now, since there's 4 of us staying there. Originally, this trip was just for Gavin and I to be on, so we only needed 1 room. And since I had no time to tell you and your husband that this morning when you came bursting out of nowhere saying that you were coming as well, we're all stuck with 1 room. I see. I've been aware of that. Since we only have 1 room and there are 4 of us, you're going to be sleeping somewhere else tonight. Huh? You want me to find somewhere else to stay tonight? Gavin's been on his tablet this whole time trying to figure something out for us, but every single hotel in that area is full with no rooms available. And the room that Gavin took at the start only has 1 bed and a couch, so that's where my husband and I, plus Gavin, will be staying tonight. What's so bad about having Gavin sleep on the floor then and allowing me to have the couch? The room is only meant for 3 people max, and since I can't trust what's on hotel room floors, I will not allow anyone to sleep on them. So what you're saying is I'm being forced to sleep somewhere else? Gavin is to blame for this as well, but we're asking you to find somewhere else to sleep tonight. Understood.
Alice, now that my mom has talked with you about what's happening today, we don't expect you to have to crash out in the lobby or anything, but you're going to have to find yourself someplace else to sleep tonight.
Sure. This should mean I can go off on my own and do whatever I want for the rest of this trip without you guys then, right?
What? We're gonna meet up in the airport once we've landed and then go to the hotel like we'd planned before, right? All you'll have to do is sleep somewhere else tonight. We can make a time and place to meet tomorrow and get back to spending this vacation together, right?
Not anymore, though, Gavin. Ugh, I just can't with you anymore. The fact that you just can't seem to understand what the problem is here is going to make me crazy if I keep trying to write things.
Huh?
I'm going to do things by myself when we get there. And I'll find my own way home when it's time because I do not want to take the same plane as you guys.
Hey, Alice!
I'm sure that both your mom and dad are watching this conversation unfold as well, right? Guess I won't need to explain anything to your mom now. See you after this trip is over.
Hey, wait! Hey, Alice! I just went up to your seat and you weren't even there. Did you move to another seat on the plane or something? Answer the damn phone already! You think I'm gonna just stop trying after a few rings? What the hell is going on here? I can't find you anywhere on this plane now. Why the hell are you even that mad with me to begin with? You and your selfishness is so damn childish, Alice. Fine. Go sit wherever the hell you want. I'm betting you're just hiding in the bathroom now anyway.
Gavin, I noticed you left for a little bit after we had dinner. Where are you right now?
Ah, hi, Mom. Perfect timing, actually. There's a hot spring out behind the hotel that's owned by the resort. How about you and Dad go enter that for a little bit and relax?
Wow, I didn't know that this resort had so many amenities.
When this resort was first built, it was known as the only one on the island to have an all-natural hot spring included in it. Normally, it's private and only available to guests that have reserved it weeks in advance, but after asking the front desk, they said a few spots in it just opened up.
Are you not going to come and join us?
There's actually one other reason I wanted to come out here on vacation, so I'm going there now. So while I'm gone, you and Dad can take your time relaxing, and I'll make sure to call you when I'm on my way back. By the way, the front desk is only giving you both an hour, so you'd better get down there and enjoy the hot spring while you can. You have until 10 p.m. to be in there, so go, go, go.
Oh my. I guess I'll have to grab your dad and get down there. I'll grab my towel and everything right now and go with your dad.
Have a relaxing time. Alice, thank you for waiting. I'm getting in a taxi right now and will be on my way to your hotel.
Sounds good. Good work today, by the way, Gavin. Were you able to get them off your back without any issues?
Without any trouble at all, actually. I told them to go and chill in the hot spring for a bit while I dipped, and that's exactly what they both did.
I see. So is that the thing you ordered last minute due to them having the last minute cancellation?
That was it. In other words, that was the last good thing I'm doing for my parents for the rest of my life.
That's right. About 20 minutes ago, I got a call from your older sister. She told me that things went to plan, and after meeting up with her boyfriend, she was able to move into her new condo. Now that she's moved in, they're celebrating with things like wine and pizza.
Oh, is that right?
She also gave me her new phone number because she's going to get rid of her old one after today. So once you arrive here, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that my older sister was finally able to make her way out of there. And Alice, thank you for helping us out with all of it.
Sure, I'm just happy it all went as planned.
What I'm really happy about, though, is that I no longer have to play the role as the husband who's in love with his mother and father more than his own wife. God, that was so tough for me to do. The amount of times I had to call and text you there to convince my parents that I was really upset with you.
That was quite a lot of calls, and I'm going to have to go through and delete all their notifications now.
I will never, ever do anything like that again, I promise you that.
I sure hope you don't. And man, was it tough for me then as well. I knew that your parents were watching you text and call me all the time then, so I had to make sure that all of my texts were believable. Thinking of the best way to make it look as though I didn't love you anymore was the hardest part for me, Gavin. I think that was the very first time we've ever talked to one another like that, right?
I don't think we've ever had a reason to talk to one another like that before.
That's true.
Anywho, I'll see you in a bit here.
Okay, have a safe ride over. I'll be waiting for you in front of the hotel. Gavin, I'd been wondering why you still hadn't come back to the hotel yet. So when I went up to the room to see if you were there, I realized all your things were gone. Did you go back home?
What? You realized I had left a lot sooner than I was hoping. Well, I've finished all I had to do, so that's fine, I guess.
What are you going on about, Gavin? Where are you right now?
I'm at the hotel Alice booked a room at.
Huh? Why are you with her? I thought the plan was for you to be staying with your parents at this hotel tonight without her having to be a part of it.
Are you kidding me, Mom? We planned this vacation to just be the two of us from the very beginning. So that means it's just about Alice and I, and that you and Dad will not be a part of it.
Hold on a second.
Your guys' room had to be paid in advance in order for you guys to stay there, so you don't have to worry about paying for it. But if you're going to order room service or use any of the other amenities at that hotel while you stay, you'll have to pay for all of it.
This has nothing to do with what things we had to pay for. The whole point of this vacation was to teach that smart-mouth-wielding wife of yours her place, and that's why you kicked her out of our plans. You agreed with your dad and I on that plan, right? The whole time we'd been on that plane, you made sure to show us all the things you said to her to make sure she'd learn her place, and that's why we made sure she had to sleep somewhere else tonight.
What are you talking about, Mom? Well, who cares at this point? I guess it's my turn to tell you what our original plan has always been.
Your original plan?
There are actually a couple of goals we wanted to achieve with this, but the biggest one was protecting my wife from your harassment.
Protecting her from my harassment? Are you talking about the way I've been schooling her? All your dad and I have been doing is trying to fix that woman's smart-ass attitude by treating her like the animal she is.
And what you both call her smart-ass character, I like to call her independent attitude. And hasn't it been you acting like a child this whole time, Mom? Tell her she can't be working as a wife and that she can't be making more than me as a wife, and that she has to listen to us because she's my wife, and that she has to bear you more grandchildren because she's my wife. All of those things are unwarranted and childish, Mom. Do you understand that?
Hold on. You should understand that all of those things I said are true and that she must listen to me. Isn't that why you've been working with me to school her this whole time?
I wasn't working with you to school her, Mom. I was just trying to sell the lie that I actually agreed with what you were doing. No man in their right mind would allow their own mom to actually treat their wife like that. Come on.
What?
You want to know why she's making more than me at her job right now? That's because she's worked for that company longer than I have and does a much more demanding job than I do. All of that money is a result of her hard work and serious work ethic and should not be judged by someone like you. You like to call her a smartass for not listening to you and doing her own thing. But you asking her to quit her job and to spend all of her time doing the chores and cooking and asking her to send you $2,000 a month in order for you to accept her, and you telling her to stop having daughters and start having sons for you, all of that is completely insane and something I never thought would be coming out of my own mom's mouth. Of course she was going to tell you off like that when you demand things as ridiculous as those. Also, what the hell is wrong with us having 2 daughters? It's not like anyone gets to just choose what gender their baby will be when they're made. So don't you freaking dare start blaming that on my wife when it's an impossible standard to be setting.
Wait, is that right?
This is starting to take too much time, so let's end things with that. Tomorrow, Alice and I will be going home to our new house that we picked out.
Huh? You guys moved into a new house?
In other words, we're cutting ties to you now.
Cutting ties to us?
And trying to find out where we are through Alice's family won't work. We already spoke with them a month ago about the plans we had in mind for this trip, and they promised us that they'd block you both today. We're all going to be changing our phone numbers as well when we get back home.
What did you say?
And when it comes to our daughters that we left with Alice's parents, they've been told about this and are excited to be moving into their new home. When this trip is over tomorrow, we'll be completely cutting ties to you and Dad, so there will be no chance for you. So starting tomorrow, you should stop talking to us. No, actually, after this, you can stop thinking about Alice and I being a part of your family and no longer have to text us.
Gavin!
Of course we'll stop sending you and Dad money as well.
What? You can't do that, Gavin!
Bye-bye.
Gavin, no! No! Alice, what the actual hell is going on here? Why? Are you questioning why your daughter is no longer living with you guys in your house? I'm sure after noticing all of her things were gone and her room completely clean that she was long gone, right? So you do know about what happened here. You give me the reason for this right now and tell me where the hell you and Gavin are. I'm not going to tell you where we are, but I suppose I can give you the reason behind why your daughter's left you. I don't need you to sit there babbling on. Just tell me the reason for this right now. Then let me begin. You've been exploiting your daughter for a very long time now, right? That, at least, is what she explained to me. Huh? Back when she was in high school, you forced her to work a part-time job and would take all the money she earned for yourself. And when she became an office woman, you forced her to put 80% of her earnings into your house for your husband and you to spend. The only thing I don't know about is what you and your husband ended up doing with all that money she was forced to give you. But she was never able to use any of her money for herself because for years now, that 20% you allowed her to keep from her paychecks, she's been saving for this reason. She needed the money to move out from your place, but knew that it would take a lot longer than it has to save up that kind of money. But when she found someone to support her, she finally had her chance to escape and find a new home for herself. By the way, this wasn't just what your daughter wanted. There is one other who has experienced the same hell under you and your husband. There's another person? I'm talking about Gavin. He wanted out and made that clear to me when talking with his sister's boyfriend about plans for getting her out. She has a boyfriend? I never knew that she was in a relationship. I've met with him a few times myself, actually. And as for their relationship, they've been together for 3 years now without you ever noticing. There's no way. I should have been able to notice her having feelings for another man. Well, luckily, she had the understanding and help of that man, along with Gavin and I. So when I said she had someone to help her get out of your house and not have to save any more money, I was talking about him. She's escaped and is now staying with him at his place. Also, she's gone and left the job she'd been working while staying at your house and will now be taking some time off to relax while she looks for a job that suits her more. That's at least what she told me. Huh? Now, allow me to explain what the point of the whole vacation was about. We knew that you and your husband would want to come along with us on this vacation and would do everything you could to get your son to make it happen. So Gavin purposefully brought it up with the both of you a few days ago. We knew the moment you heard about where we were going and what we'd be doing, you'd force your way in. Hold up. No way. You guys... Your daughter's boyfriend gave us this great idea to use a vacation for Gavin and I to get you and your husband out of the house in order for your daughter to safely run away without either of you noticing. That's why Gavin went ahead and had you and your husband with him while moving me to a different location. He then made it look like we were having a troubled relationship because of the choice you three made, while also working on supposedly getting the 4 of us to stay in that hotel. He already knew, though, that you wouldn't want me staying there with the three of you, so we made sure to book another hotel room at another hotel so he could come with me when you and your husband weren't around. What the hell? Thank you so much for taking the bait both Gavin and I had laid out for you and letting our plans go without a hitch. Huh? I just heard from Gavin that he got himself a new phone number for his phone. Wait, he got that done already? And it's my turn to get my number changed now. Wait, don't do that yet! Goodbye forever, Maeve. Wait! Everything that happened afterwards, I heard about from the rest of Gavin's family. This was my first time ever hearing this, but it appears that not only was Maeve's husband not working, but neither of them had any savings nor any social security to support them in their later years. In other words, the income that my sister-in-law had and the money Gavin was sending them was their social security. Having just lost both forms of their income and having to soon pay things like bills for the month, both Maeve and her husband went around asking the rest of the family for $2,000. Naturally, after having heard about the situation that had unfolded, every single person they asked told them no in a very disappointed tone. Soon after that all happened, the both of them were exiled by the rest of the family. Having no way of getting any money from the family now, both Maeve and her husband came to the realization that they'd have to work, or else they'd lose their home and starve. They began to search for work to support themselves with, but considering that the both of them are total assholes and old, nobody was willing to hire them in that town. Later, the situation about those two became vague, as the last thing that was seen of those two was them getting into trouble with a group of men on the street. Since then, we have no idea where they both are or what they're having to do now. When it comes to what happened with Gavin and I after that wild ride, we were able to go to our new home and be with our daughters again. And once we were settled down and had all the boxes from the move put into storage, we had both Gavin's sister and her boyfriend over. We celebrated the success of our plan to escape both of their horrible parents, and before the gathering ended, my sister-in-law announced that her and her boyfriend were not engaged and would marry next year. Let me just say, after that exciting news, our little gathering turned into a party, and we didn't end up getting any sleep that night. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Maya, my little sister is coming back home, so could you take the car to the airport and get her?
Wait, you want me to go there right now?
What, do you have a problem with that?
I was just asked by your mom to run out to the craft store to get her a very specific type of ballpoint pen.
Then, once you've brought that home for her and dropped it off, go back out and head towards the airport.
Hold on a second, Parker. Wasn't it supposed to be you who took the car out to the airport to go and get Leah? Oh wait, you shot that talk down because you didn't want to have to drive through traffic to go and get her. And that's why I had to come all the way to your mom's place just to be told to go out and get her favorite pen, and it's not going to be for another hour until I can be back at her place.
Well, I've already had some beers to drink, so I can't go.
What, already? It's 9 a.m., Parker.
I had no choice, okay? My dad was waiting to have some beers with me, and he had them all out on the counter with snacks this morning. You thought I'd just say no to that when I'm supposed to be his golden child?
So what you're saying is that your dad has had some beers this morning as well?
Yeah. And we both know about how my mom no longer has a driver's license anymore, so the only one legally allowed to go out and get my sister's you. So hurry up with buying that pen for my mom and get to the airport and grab her. Once Leia's home with the rest of us, the plan is for us all to have burgers out on the grill.
All right, Parker.
My mom told me she ordered some premium beef patties from Japan, and that's what we'll be barbecuing on the grill for lunch and dinner today, and I really want to eat them as soon as possible.
I get it already, Parker.
By the way, it's because you had to work all the way up until yesterday that I wasn't able to come home to my parents' house until now.
And I told you that you could have gone to your parents' place ahead of me and I would have come later. Actually, if I recall this correctly, I tell you that every single year.
And here's another thing I forgot to say. In my family, it is the wife that should be going to her in-laws first during the holidays to work on all the cooking and chores. Yet for some reason, you...
The longer you drag on this conversation with me, the longer it will take for me to go and get your sister.
Then hurry up and get your crap together.
Jesus Christ, Parker. Maya? I'm pretty sure you're still driving out here, but, well, I just got to the airport a little bit ago, and that's when I found out that my brother was having you drive all the way out here instead to pick me up. I'm sure you're driving still, but if you've already arrived, can you tell me where you are? Welcome back to the U.S., Leah. I'll be there in another 10 minutes or so. Do you want me to pull up to the north wing of that airport to pick you up? That would be the easiest location for me to get to and to leave from with this car. I can wait there. Oh, thank you so much for coming to get me.
Hey, Maya, did you head back out again?
Yes? Your mom was asking me to go out and get you guys some more AAA batteries.
Well, we've ran out of potato chips and dips, so can you please stop at the store and get us some more?
Are you guys going to be drinking some more? Parker, you've been drinking all day now, and you need to slow down. We'd only just arrived at your mom and dad's house this morning, and all you've done is sit around and drink.
Oh, what's so bad about that? We're staying at my parents' house tonight, so I don't need to go anywhere or do anything.
I understand that, but...
Just buy those dang chips and dip and come back here.
All right, chips and dip. Maya, it sounds like my mom asked you to go out and buy some more random things, and now I've overheard my brother asking you to get some things as well while you're out. You already had to take a long trip all the way to the airport to come and get me today, yet it seems you've had all sorts of other random things all day. I'm sorry, Maya. You'll never be able to relax if all they're doing is asking for you to go out and get things for them. You were already being so thoughtful by coming all the way out here. Hey, you don't have to worry about any of this. I'm totally fine here. Then what about when this happened? My mom knew that there would be 5 people at the house today who would be eating lunch, and yet she only got enough burgers and stuff for 4. So in the end, you were left with nothing to eat, and I don't think you've really had anything to eat all day, right? But you gave me half your burger, so thank you for doing that. But that had to happen because Parker and my parents seem to not care about you. I started out thinking that maybe my mom forgot about getting enough food for 5 people because she's so used to me being overseas and not at home for the holidays. But now that I've put everything that's happened to you so far today together, I can tell that they're all just harassing you. Right? If that's really what's happening here, then I'm so very sorry about my family. Do you want to go out with me and get something for dinner when you get back? Oh, that would be wonderful, Leah. Thank you. However, I've been told by your mom that as your brother's wife, I'm supposed to get used to eating things like shrimp tails and burnt ends, so that should be fine for me tonight if that's all your family has. Huh? That's what my mom told you? You should be used to eating things like shrimp tails and burnt ends? That's terrible! I don't actually eat any of those things, though, when they serve them to me. Okay, but that's still not a good thing, Maya. I've known from the very beginning that your parents and brother would never prepare anything decent for me to eat, so I make sure to always eat while I'm out of the house doing all of their needless errands. Well, as long as you're not starving all the time when you're here, that's fine. But the fact that my mom said that was what you should be used to eating? You don't have to worry about it, Leah. Here's the thing when it comes to my relationship with your family. Once I'd married Parker and made my way over to your parents' house for the first time, I was told to stay in the kitchen until the rest of the family was done eating, and that I'd be having their leftovers for dinner. That was pretty much the first thing your mom said to me when I came into the house. She really is harassing you then. She might be, but when it comes to your brother and dad, they never really say much. But they never do anything to tell your mom off either, and will just agree with her by going, every time she tells me to do something, which means they're fine with it. Are you kidding me? Seriously, my family is such a shameful mess, and that makes me feel so bad for you. You don't have to feel bad or apologize for it, though. The fact that I know you understand what's wrong with them is more than enough to help me feel like I'll be just fine. I've been overseas for 3 years now, and not even for something serious like work, but I really wish I could have been around you more so that I could hear your side of things, because all my family will ever tell me is how much of a bad wife you can be at times. Leah, by the way, I've made plans for my family to meet with my fiancé for the first time ever. Oh, the man you told me about before that you met overseas? That guy? Yeah, that's him. Do you think you can come home now so that you can meet him when he comes over? Wait, you want me to meet him too? Actually, the only reason I came all the way back to the States this year is so that I can talk with you. What? I thought you came here just to be around your family again. I want you to be a part of a plan that I have, but before I actually do anything, I'd like to go out with you for a bit and chat about it. Then you can have a better understanding of me.
Yo, Leia! You and Maya left the house about an hour ago after she came. Where the hell did the both of you go and why?
Oh, hi Parker. I was just thinking about texting you.
What do you mean you were just thinking about texting me? Mom has been whining to me about how she wants Maya to start cooking dinner soon and told me to tell you guys to come home. We're waiting.
Huh? Why don't you tell Mom to start cooking dinner herself then? And if that's too difficult for her to start cooking right now, then have her go to the supermarket and pick up some pre-made food. Why would you guys even be asking for her to do all of these chores when she only just got off work for the end of the year and is in need of a break?
What? That's her job as my wife.
Because she's your wife, she has to go through all this work?
That's right, because she's my wife.
Tell me, why do you think she has to be there to make dinner tonight? Just because she's your wife?
What? Because that's what she's been told to do as my wife.
But then, what does that make of Mom? Isn't she Dad's wife?
What?
She's the wife that Dad married and made a part of his family, right?
But right now, Mom, she's also considered the mother-in-law, right?
Well, she's the only wife in that house right now since I have Maya with me helping get some things together in order to move.
Huh? In order for who to move exactly? Who's moving?
Mom and Dad, of course.
Huh? Why would the both of them be moving?
When I came back home today with Maya from the airport, I noticed that nobody had been working on getting things ready for Mom and Dad to move. So as the only one who seemed to understand what needed to happen, I decided to take Maya with me to get things ready.
Why, yo, what the heck are you going on about right now, Leah?
What?
I have literally no freaking idea what you're talking about right now.
Wait, did you not hear anything about this then? I was told by Mom and Dad that they decided on a day to have the house demolished.
Huh? The house is being demolished then?
To make matters short, the house is going to be torn down, so Mom and Dad need to hurry up and get their things together in order to move out.
Huh?
I could have sworn you were told in the group chat that really soon here the house would be getting demolished by the city. What? Hold on for a sec. Does this mean that Mom and Dad haven't even started looking for a new place to move into yet?
I'm gonna go ask Mom and Dad right now. Oh no. I just went and asked them about it, and so far it doesn't seem like they've done anything in order to prepare for the move.
Are you serious? We'd been talking about this for weeks and months even, and they still haven't started to prepare and look for a new place? I've talked with them about this 3 times now.
They told me that this is their house, so nothing can happen to it, and there's nobody who can rightfully kick them out of their house. They kind of thought you were just joking about all of that stuff when you brought it up.
What the hell are you going on about? Aren't you all aware that 3 years ago Dad went and gave ownership of the house over to my fiancé and said that he'd make the decisions? That was back when Dad's burger joint went under, and as a way of trying to not go into major debt, he sold the place to my fiancé because he was willing to let Mom and Dad stay there. My fiancé has been a realtor overseas and had the money to buy the place from Dad, and that's why they never went into major debt after the burger joint failed. But the plan was made a year ago to have that house, the house my fiancé owns now, torn down because the area is going to be used for an apartment complex. My fiancé was able to buy Mom and Dad a year, though, because he didn't want to stress either one of them with the plans he and the city had made, yet they still haven't done anything? Both my fiancé and I have been telling Mom and Dad to find a new place to move into so that when the time comes, there'd be no hiccups, right? You heard about all of this, Parker, because you wanted to be in that group chat, yet you haven't actually been paying any attention to it? This is why you need to stop slamming back beers while you're with Mom and Dad and start getting ready to have them both moved out and into a new home. There's only a little while longer before the house has to go, so you get Mom and Dad together right now and start helping them get their things together. Tomorrow we're going to go through the whole house together, cleaning it all out and making sure everything is taken care of. By tomorrow night, I want Mom and Dad to have a new home picked out and be ready to go.
Yo, if we have to get all of that done by tomorrow night, then when will we sleep?
Since you three have procrastinated for a whole year, you won't have any time to sleep with these next 2 days now.
And as for the place they should be moving into?
Tell them to start looking for anything that can be ready for them in a few days. I don't care if it has to be an Airbnb or a rundown apartment, and if nothing is available, then you'll just have to shove them into a hotel for a while.
Then what about the moving company?
There are plenty of movers that can get to work right away if you call them 24 hours in advance. And you can have them take all of Mom and Dad's things and put them into storage for a month if need be.
But that'll cost them even more money.
Then how about you pay for all of that? I'm going to be honest right now, you are partially to blame for all of this since you decided not to heed my warnings.
Are you kidding me, Leah? Hey, Maya! You know about how I've been made to handle all the work needed to get my mom and dad moved out of this house, right? I've been wondering why this whole time you've done nothing to help us, and that's why I went and took a trip back to our house, and guess what I find? Divorce papers signed by you? What is all of this about?
Oh, so you made it back to the house?
Where the hell are you right now?
I'm out at a cheap hotel right now, staying here for a few days.
Huh? You staying at a cheap hotel now?
I planned on moving out, so I've been taking my time in order to find a place to move myself into.
You're moving out of our house now, so you actually want to go ahead and get a divorce from me now?
You already knew that when you walked in and saw the divorce papers I left for you signed, right? Come on now, man.
Why do you want a divorce, though?
You know the reason why. Because you just sat there and let your mom harass me that whole time and never once said anything about it.
That was just,
What we're going to talk about now is all the stuff that I learned about from Leah herself. Did you know that the reason Leah came back to the U.S. in the first place was to learn about just how much your mom has been troubling me and acting like she can use me as her slave? Because that's what she's told me, and there was no other reason.
What?
She told me that things weren't as bad as she was suspecting, that she would have bought Mom and Dad another year or so before having her fiancé go ahead with the house's demolishing. However, the moment she came to the airport here, she realized that I was already being forced to do literally everything during my holiday with no time to relax in sight. And when she saw that your mom didn't have enough food for me, like with those burgers, well, she was able to see just how badly things had become for me within your guys' family. At that moment, she knew that she had to do something to stop this and gave me a chance to escape. So she told her fiancé to contact the city and tell them to go ahead with the plans to have your house demolished and get your parents out.
What the hell? What the hell do you think you're doing, acting like Mom has been harassing you this whole time? I was told that was the way my mom planned on making you a good wife. Yet you and your misunderstanding has gone and left my mom and dad without a house and me without a place to go back to relax at.
I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding on your side, actually, since I wasn't the one who decided to do all of this at first. It was your sister, Leah.
Huh? She made the decision to do this?
She made the choice based off the fact that she could clearly see your mom was harassing me, and that it was her fiancé who's owned that house for the past 3 years. So she talked with him about what was going on, and their final decision was to have Mom and Dad kicked out so that the house could go ahead and be destroyed.
What?
Oh, and another thing. I'm going to assume that you took your mom and dad back home with you to the house to stay with us instead of putting them up somewhere?
Well, of course I've done that. I plan to have both my mom and dad staying in this house with us, and you won't have a say in that.
Not going to happen.
What?
I don't want to have someone that enjoys harassing other people living in the same house as me. I knew that was going to happen, though, and that's why we're getting this divorce for sure now.
Hold the hell on!
My dad was very kind by introducing me to one of his friends who is a very respected divorce lawyer.
What? You have a lawyer now?
I'm sure that you'll be getting a call or email from that lawyer very soon here, so once you've heard everything he has to say, you can talk with him about what happens next in the divorce.
Wait!
Oh, and one last thing. I happen to be the one who rents that house, and I'm having the rental agreement ended next month. So you guys will have to leave there pretty soon as well and find a brand new place to move into.
What?
Hurry up and find yourselves a new place to go so that I can tell the landlord he can go and clean the house out for his next tenants.
What the hell?
That's all I had left to say.
Hold on a dang minute, Maya.
Goodbye forever, Parker.
Maya! What are you doing?
And just like my sister-in-law had been saying, she worked with her fiancé to have my in-laws' house demolished like she'd been warning them to prepare for. Leah had also told her family her fiancé's number in case they ever wanted to talk with him about any of the plans he had for the house, back when he had bought the place from her dad. But they never ended up asking or saying anything to him. After being moved into Parker's in my place, Parker soon learned that I was not joking about having a lawyer. And after some long talks about all of the things I had to endure with his mom and him, he was told he'd owe me a settlement. Not too long after Parker was informed about that, I received the settlement money, and the divorce was able to be finalized. Unbeknownst to them, I had both audio recordings and video of Parker's mom harassing me, and of both Parker and his dad never stepping in to control it. So, of course, there was no chance at all for Parker and his family to fight me in court. So, within a month, the divorce was over with and I was a free woman again. After being forced out of the apartment by the landlord a week later, they had to move into a dirt-cheap apartment that was close to 100 years old and had not seen any maintenance for the past 50 years. And just a few years ago, something bad happened there that appeared on the news. Those three got into a massive fight within that apartment and ended up causing so much damage to it and making so much noise that the police were called and arrested them. When I saw that news, I got one message from Parker, and all it read was, "Help." When that happened, I didn't even bother to actually open the message and just blocked him and his family's numbers before changing my number as well. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Allie, are you still not back home yet? I just got here and you're nowhere to be found.
Hello, Charlie. I'm still coming back home from work like always, and I'm making my stop at the supermarket, like always. Actually, it seems you're home a lot sooner than normal. What happened that allowed you to be home around 5?
I can come home anytime I want to.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, and that means the same applies to me. I'm doing what I'm always doing at this time of day and haven't done anything that should be making you upset with me.
What? I see. Then you hurry up with the groceries and get home to make me dinner. I'm starving right now and don't want to wait any longer.
Okay.
And the bath isn't even ready for me. How come the bath isn't ready for me?
When I get home from work, I usually take care of things like that, the way I've always been doing it. I normally get home a bit after 5, and you normally get home around 7.
And normally you should have all this stuff handled for me before I get home, like a good wife would do.
And since you've gotten home earlier than normal, that won't be possible. I also happen to have a job, and that means that any time before 5 p.m. won't work because I'm at work.
Jesus, I say one thing and you have some kind of comeback. I say another thing and then it's a different comeback. That right there is why both myself and Kylie hate you.
Now that you mention her, is Kylie back from college yet?
Huh? Her shoes were at the front of the house when I got back home, so I'm sure she's up in her room now.
I see. Well, thanks for telling me. Now I'm getting back to my shopping so that I can be home as soon as possible. Hey, Dad. Isn't it getting to be that time where we don't need that old woman here anymore?
Huh? What do you want now, Kylie?
It's been a year now since Grandma passed away, which means that in the next couple of months, I'm going to be heading to work for the first time ever. And, well, the company that I'm planning on working for is a ways away, so I was thinking of moving to a place closer to the office to live on my own.
Oh?
In other words, if you get rid of the old woman, then you can get married to that hot girlfriend of yours and have a wonderful later half of your life with her, right?
What? Hold on, you know about my girlfriend?
From time to time, I see her with you, so... And of course, as your daughter, I'm rooting for you to be with the woman you love most.
I see. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Old woman, you understand that today is the day I'm moving out and into my own apartment to start my new life alone, right? Good morning, Kylie. Of course I know about that. Is there anything you'd like me to help you out with right now? Are you kidding me? I don't want your filthy hands touching any of my things, so stay away from the house today. What? I don't want any of your help, and I hate the idea of you being around me while I leave, so stay out. Don't come home until later tonight. Is that right? It seems we've really raised one of the most helpless kids ever in this house. Huh? Perhaps this is what happens when we let you hang out with your abusive grandma all the time, who just had a blast making me feel unwanted. What the heck are you talking about? None of that makes any sense. I didn't expect you to understand what I was talking about there, so don't even worry about it. Since I can be out of the house all day today, I'll go and handle some of the things I've been needing to get to now. Then hurry up and get out of this house so I can get ready. Go away!
Hey, Allie, you understand that today is the day Kylie moves out of this house, right?
I know. I could tell from all the commotion I heard in her bedroom earlier this morning.
And as her mother, you didn't even bother to help her out with any of her packing? Instead, heading out the front door to leave her home all alone?
She told me herself that she didn't need my help and she didn't want me home to watch her leave the house, so she said I needed to stay out until later tonight. And that is why I left the house just then. Next time, please talk with her first before coming to me with your complaints.
So that's what happened there.
I was told this first thing in the morning, so I wasn't able to prepare any meals for you guys today.
Well, today's a special day anyway. I'll forgive you for not doing anything.
Is that so? Well, thank you so much for your forgiveness. Now, I have some errands that I'd like to finish up today myself, so I won't be able to talk until later tonight.
Is that right? Well, go ahead and do whatever you want.
I will. I'll make sure to do everything I want. Charlie, I'm almost home from my day out. And, well, I just walked by the trash down the road, and for some reason, a lot of my things were in it. Do you mind telling me why a lot of my things were just in that trash pile all the way down here by the dumpster? I noticed some larger things of mine were also in that pile, like my dresser and my nightstand. Tomorrow is not a day where they come around to collect larger trash items, you know.
You don't have to come back to this house anymore.
What?
What I'm saying is, I can't believe you hung around Kylie and me for the past 20 years, when we both have hated your guts since the very start.
Ugh. I believe the reason that Kylie has always had a lot against me is because of the way you and your mother behaved towards me. Since you always had her going over to your parents' house, she was being raised by your harassing mother and was taught to treat me like the housemaid. She got to sit there and watch front seats as you and your mother would always trash talk about me while forcing me to do all the chores while working a full-time job, so of course she began to hate me the same way. I guess there was no helping this outcome, though, because I never did anything to stop it.
Stop running your annoying little mouth already. Kylie's gotten herself a job now and won't be around anymore, which means I have no use for a housemaid like you anymore. Get out of my life.
Understood, Charlie. I will gladly get out of your life.
I want you and the rest of your things out of here in 1 hour.
Oh, you don't have to give me an hour, Charlie. Most of my things have already been moved out of that house, so I don't need to really grab anything from there.
Huh?
To make this understandable for someone who lacks any wits like you, no, I'm not talking about how all of my things are in the trash now. I planned on moving, so I had made sure to send all the things I wanted to keep to my new place in advance, and left all the things I didn't care for in that house. I was doing that today while you were at work and Kylie was getting her things ready to go. Originally, I had planned to go back to that house to gather all the things I didn't need and take them to this dumpster. But you've already handled that for me and are even telling me to stay away now. So I'll stay away from there and start going to my new place of residence.
Yo, what the hell are you going on about?
I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to come out here and collect all those larger items like my dresser that cannot be thrown out tonight.
I'm asking you what the hell you're going on about. I get that I'm telling you to get out of my house right now, but what you're making things sound like is you've planned on leaving this house before I told you to.
Yes, that's because I've been planning to.
Huh?
Could you be surprised because you forgot something very important? About a year ago, after we had your mother's funeral and were on our way home from there, weren't you the one asking me to divorce you and saying that things between us had gone cold?
What?
But at the time, Kylie was still in college and hadn't found a company that wanted to hire her yet. We didn't want to cause any stress for her then by getting a divorce and having me move out of the house, so I recommend we just hold off on the divorce until after she graduated from school, right? And after listening to my suggestion, you agreed with me. Therefore, the plan was after Kylie graduated and was on her way to her first company job, I'd prepare for the divorce and leave the house.
Now that you mention it, that's right.
As for things like splitting the property and such in the divorce, I've made sure to get myself a lawyer to help us out.
What? You went and got yourself a lawyer already?
That's right. We've been married for 20 years now, right? Neither of us know about all the properties that we've shared for those past 20 years, and so I wanted a professional to help us out with all of that so that the transition was smooth and safe. I was recommended to do this by a friend of mine who also works in law, so we should trust doing what she's recommended to me.
This all sounds like a pain in the butt, but you've already asked for their help, right? The lawyers?
Yes, I have. I thought that since this would be a pain in the butt for the both of us, the best choice would be to get a lawyer.
I guess there's nothing I can do about that now. All right then, Allie. Hey, Allie! What the hell is this settlement about? You told me you only got that lawyer to help with our properties, right? Why am I being asked to pay you a settlement now?
And if you had taken a look at the papers and at all the evidence that's attached to them, you would understand why and not have to yell at me.
What evidence?
There's a document stating the procedures that were taken to prove that you've been cheating on me with another woman. And along with that document are some pieces of evidence proving what happened. I believe some pictures and a USB with audio recordings.
What the hell? You were having someone investigate me?
I sure was. And thanks to having our divorce wait for 1 year, I had enough time to get people together to go and get all that evidence for me and prepare the legal case that will get me that settlement.
What did you say?
So, now that you're aware of what needs to happen next, you can get in touch with my lawyer again and have those talks. Also, we've been renting that house for the last 20 years now, which means by the end of next month, you need to be out of there so that the landlord can have it back and prepare for his next tenants.
Huh?
I can see that you haven't been preparing for anything and that this is all a major shock to you right now, but I'd put those emotions on hold so that you can get to work moving out of that house.
Wait! Why did you wait to tell me all of these really important things until right now?
What? I thought we talked about all of this a year ago after we had that talk about getting a divorce.
That's not what I'm talking about. Why have I not been told about this house when I've been the breadwinner here?
Excuse me? I thought that I had always been the one making the most money and handling all the payments.
Huh?
5 years ago, when your father first passed away, there was a lot of paperwork that had to be done for the place, like who would be in charge of the house and be considered the next tenant in it. Your mom, of course, didn't have any way of paying rent on the place since she'd never worked a day in her life. And you always complained about how you didn't want to do paperwork, and so you had me handle it all. You didn't even join me to co-sign the papers or anything, leaving me with one choice, and that was to become the sole renter of that house. Of course, I've been bringing in the most money as well, so it kind of made sense that I pay the rent. But that is what happened. So for the past 5 years now, I've been paying most of the rent on that house, as well as for utilities and such.
What?
Are you saying this whole time you never noticed anything about that?
Now that you've explained it all to me, I guess I've never seen any money being taken out of my accounts for rent.
Then there you go, Charlie. I've left that house and ended my rental agreement for the place, and the landlord isn't looking to make you the next renter. So it would be best that you move out of there as soon as possible so that the landlord has time to deep clean and everything else. Hold on, old woman. I just got off the phone with Dad. Hi. I had told him earlier today that he would have to pay a settlement to me for having been cheating, and that would have to come with the divorce. I don't mind that you guys got a divorce, but now he's having to lose his house? Is that something a mom like you should be allowing to happen? I don't have any children, though. Huh? So you're telling me that with the divorce you're also cutting ties to your one and only daughter? And as things have always been, from the very start, I've not been your real mother. What are you talking about? I thought you'd been told this long ago, and even if you don't remember that, you should have noticed by now. What? What do you mean by that? I would love for you to go and ask about all of this from your father, but your real mother, the one who birthed you, died when you were only 3 months old due to a severe illness. And then, 2 months after that happened, your father ended up marrying me since I had worked for It's like I don't even know any of you anymore.
Kylie?
Well, now that I think about it, I haven't told you where I've moved to yet, have I? I think this is where I call it quits with you, Dad.
Wait, what?
Bye-bye.
Kylie!
After having heard the story that I gave her and thinking about how she never really had a mother figure growing up besides her grandma, Kylie started to lose it and began to think she'd never even want to get married because it's too difficult for her to understand emotionally. She also chose to cut her father out of her life so that she could get a feeling of starting fresh with no family, just like I had growing up. Kylie ended up joining a company one of my old friends has become a part of, so for a bit I was hearing about how things were going there for Kylie, because my friend noticed she had the same rare last name I had before the divorce. From what I'd been told, Kylie became this really gloomy girl in the workplace who never wanted to talk with anyone about anything and has often gone home early due to not feeling well. My old friend told me that she can keep me in the loop on what all happens later on with Kylie, but I told him that she's not my daughter, and since she never treated me like her mother, I don't have any attachment to her. Now, when it comes to what happened with Charlie, there's a lot. I heard all of this from a friend around that house I was living in with him, and she told me the woman he had cheated on me with ran from him after the settlement, and because of that, he became sort of a hermit. He began to lose control of everything going on around him, or rather it seemed like he was just stuck in this trance after having lost everything, and only snapped back to reality a day before he had to be out of that house. So in a panic, he decided to go and move into one of the company's apartment complexes in order to avoid becoming homeless. He grabbed everything that he could carry on him and in his car and left the place, leaving more than half of his things there, which would later be tossed by the landlord. That apartment complex he moved into was primarily for younger employees of the company who had just been hired and moved into the area. So a lot of rumors started to spread about why an old man like him was there. And after a few months of being picked on by all of them and being reminded of the joke he was for letting his wife and daughter get away, he quit his job. Right now, he's out on the streets looking for any kind of work possible, while crying about the family he once had and would never be able to obtain again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.